Alright, what's going on, guys? Quigster here, and welcome back to the channel. This is me. Nice to meet you. My name's John. Most of you guys wouldn't know this, most of my subscribers who don't know me personally, but for the past 7 months, I've been dealing with a tough battle with cancer. And I thought I'd just share my story with you guys today so you could know all the details, know the full story. So I'll start, or you should start all stories from the beginning. I'd say last July, I started feeling these lumps underneath my armpits, right here. And I didn't really know what they were. I didn't pay too much attention to them for a couple weeks, couple months, but they wouldn't go away. I thought I just had an infection or something, but they didn't go away. So after like 2-3 months of dealing with it, my mom forced me to go to the doctor about it, and he suggested that I do a biopsy because with lymph nodes, that's what was swollen. You don't really know what's wrong with them until you do a biopsy to see what's wrong. And yeah, I went into my biopsy, I think the day after I uploaded that game-ending glitch video for Warzone. So it was pretty weird just going in there, looking at my channel, watching the video blow up. I was in the hospital. The biopsy went fine. No bad reactions to any of the medicine they gave me, and they took a piece of my lymph node out. They put it in some slides. They did some scans on it, and they told me that I had Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is a cancer that's in your lymph nodes. It could spread anywhere. It could spread through your body if it's in a higher stage. So yeah, that was one of the worst days of my life, to be honest. I came home, I was just crying all day pretty much, and didn't know how to deal with the news, didn't know what to do. But through the loving grace of God, my family had a connection with someone who works at Memorial Sloan Kettering Hospital in New York City, and they sent me up there. I got a great team to work with me, and they did some more tests. They looked at the scans. They did a PET scan on me, a CAT scan, an MRI. They looked at the slides that they took from the biopsy, and they told me that I had stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma. They told me it spread to my liver, so that was pretty bad. I was terrified again. So they suggested I do 6 cycles of chemo, once every 2 weeks for 6 months, so 12 total sessions of chemo. And that was in September. I started chemo October 1st, and it was pretty tough. I didn't know what it was going into it. I heard a lot of scary stories about chemo, bad reactions you could have to it, the usual throwing up all day, feeling like garbage. But first treatment, I went in, stick 2 IVs in each elbow, or 1 in my hand actually, 1 in this elbow. And yeah, I mean, that sucks, having to go and getting 2 needles stuck in your arm for a whole day. It's like 8-hour days in chemo, just sitting in a bed, getting IVs pumped into your arms. So yeah, I got that treatment, came home, felt like garbage, didn't know if that was how you're supposed to feel or if I was having a bad reaction. I was like, I got in my bed, I just couldn't go to bed. I was shaking uncontrollably, like I had the shivers, but I wasn't cold. I was like sweating too at the same time. And I took my temperature. I had like 103, 104 degree fever, which was pretty bad. My mom was freaking out. We called the doctors. One of them told me to take 2 Tylenol, which I did, and my fever went away within the hour. And yeah, that was my first treatment. A pretty scary start, not to lie, but I got through it. Second treatment, I go in, didn't know if I was gonna have that same reaction again, and they started me on the chemo. I had a weird reaction to it after the first drug they gave me, and I had like the slight fever, a rash around my body. And then after the second and third drug, I still had this reaction. It kind of was dying out a little bit, so they decided to give me the 4th one, which is a immunotherapy, nivolumab. And they gave that to me, and I had one of the worst reactions in the history of that medicine, I think, because it was so bad that they had to change the consent form for the drug at Sloan's, that they had to include my symptoms in it. So yeah, I had, at one point, my body was covered in, it looked like I had sunburn all over my body. It was that red, that bad was the rash. My fever went up to like 111 degrees Fahrenheit, and I think it was like 45 degrees Celsius if you're not from America. My heart rate was like 180 beats per minute, which was not supposed to go there. My blood pressure went down to like 80/40, which is not good either. And yeah, I mean, it was really bad. I didn't know really what was going on. I knew everyone around. They had like 8 nurses in the room, which was a small little room, like big enough to fit a bed and a chair in. That's pretty much it. And yeah, I mean, I was terrified. My dad was in the room with me. He called my mom. She was terrified. He was terrified. But they gave me Tylenol. For some reason, Tylenol was a miracle drug for me because within an hour, my symptoms were pretty much gone, which was weird. But, you know, it was scary, but I got through it. And then things got normal after then. I went in the next week and they asked me if I wanted to stay on the drug or if I wanted to change drugs because they didn't know if they could fix it. But I made the choice to stay on it because they said it was probably the best drug to deal with lymphoma. And yeah, after that, I had no negative reaction for the rest of my treatment. 2 weeks later, after the second cycle, after my 4th treatment, I went in for some more scans. And they came back really good. They said that everything was better than they expected to see. Everything was going away pretty well. And that I almost had no cancer left already. So I had 4 cycles ahead of me and I just had to deal with a little bit of the cancer. Cycle 3, 4, 5 were pretty normal. Nothing bad happened. And then the last cycle, thought it would be easy just dealing with the last 2 cycles, but I got anticipatory nausea before, so every time before they gave me the chemo, I'd just start throwing up for the last 3 or 4 treatments. It was bad, but I mean, could have been worse, I guess. And then after chemo was done, I think I ended on March 4th. It's a picture of me celebrating my last treatment, and yeah, they wanted to wait a month, 6 weeks after my last treatment to do the next set of scans to let the chemo fully get out of my system. And they gave me the scans on Thursday, and I spent Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and most of Monday just waiting for the news. I couldn't sleep. I was terrified. My whole family was scared. And then on Monday, I got the call from the doctor, and I was, hello, tell me the news. And she said it was all good news. And I jumped in joy around my room. I started punching the air in celebration. And yeah, that was probably the best day of my life, to be honest. I mean, it's one of the best news you could get from anybody. So yeah, that's my story, how I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and I overcame my struggles and I beat it. Yeah, that was one of the main things that kept me going with my channel, because I had to drop out of school to deal with chemo because I couldn't really do both. I tried for a couple weeks and I just couldn't deal with it. So yeah, I spent most of my time recording and playing video games with my friends. Thankfully they were home because of COVID. I guess that's a good thing from COVID. If you think COVID didn't bring anything good, think again. But yeah, I spent most of the time playing video games, recording all of it. If anything cool happened, I'd upload it. And yeah, that kept me going with my channel. So I guess I should just say thank you to everyone who stuck by my side this whole time. Thank you, even if you didn't know I had cancer and you just said a kind word in the comment section. Made my day, kept me going. And I hope this story could inspire you a little bit. If you're ever going through a tough time, there's always a brighter side on the end, and you could always overcome anything in your life. So yeah, more videos coming soon, guys. If you're new to the channel, hit that sub button. If you like the video, drop a like. If you're dealing with anything, drop it in the comments. I'm sure I'll try and help any way I can. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.